Good morning. Today is one of the children's birthdays, and for all we don't know the dates of birth of every child, because it's just how it is. Parents passing away, neglectful, so on and so forth. We have a birthday for every child, and we've just started forcefully implementing it because we didn't have a schedule for it because we had to invent birthdays. So I've got that to do. So I've got lots of birthdays to deal with. But before I do the birthday, I am grounding myself for the start of the day. If you don't know what grounding is, by the way, I'm drinking a nice chai as well. If you don't know what grounding is, it's the exchange of electrons between you and the earth. But on a deeper level, a much deeper level. It's your body, your DNA, talking to the earth and the earth talking to it. Remember, you're an extension of this. That's all you are. That tree is the earth reaching up to the sky. You are the earth's expression of the ability of something that can look upon the sun, as I do now, take the light and make it light. You're very interrelated. So the earth knows what you require because it's your mother. And that includes the information that is being sent between us while we stand bare skin on bare skin as we exchange electrons and switch energy. So that's how I'm starting my day, with some grounding and a chai. And then I've got a birthday, and then I've got to go for a bit of a drive. So you know, one of my most favorite words in the world is Komorebi, which is Japanese, and it's a word to describe sunlight shining through the leaves of a tree. See how restrictive language can be when we don't allow ourselves to learn the different languages of the world. And that includes numerology and esoterics in my book. Lila. Lila, Lila, Lila. Oh, sweetie. I'll play later, okay? Okay? In a really bad day. So, my two superstars have turned up as well. Jackson and Joseph, who have just been the first boys to get their qualifications. So they now have qualifications. They're from Angels Gate, so I'm going to talk to them now. Hey guys, so this is Faraji, who lives with me in Featherstale, and Faraji is actually the first ever child I helped in Tanzania because he was struggling a lot, and we got him into school and things. So I've got a long history with Faraji, but he's a very good young man with a good heart, and he just called me from town because you found what happened, Faraji?
I found a child which is their parents died and going to town to find a job for them. And he don't get, he's sleeping out for 1 week.
Yeah, okay. So I think you heard that. He found a child, which will be a new friend of his, no doubt, who had been sleeping outside for a week because his parents sadly died recently, so he ended up back on the street. So good job from Faraji, because not everybody takes time to help people like that, but Faraji did. So before anyone asks about my seatbelt, I'm not going anywhere, I'm just pulling back up here. So but yes, I'm very, very proud of you, Faraji, very proud. Where in the West do you find two children sitting on top of a beautiful mountain, foothills of Kili, sunset, reading the Bible? Something missing in the West that isn't here. No, go back. Oh, by the way, they're with their goats, mbuzi, as you would say here. Mbuzi wapi? Mbali. Bully. He's with his goats, but they've wandered off because he's too concentrated on me. So I'm the number. Okay. Hey guys, I just met two children, brother and sister, Rama and Fatuma, and Fatuma was asking me about school because she doesn't go to school, she's just working with goats, and she's a child, of course. So I've said to come to the office on Monday because today there's nobody around, and we'll start the process. But it's just so strange out of all of the hills around here. They walk up this one and see me, and it makes me just say how wonderful that they are here in this beautiful surrounding. I know we can't all live out in nature like this with these sort of views, but to find a child up here reading the Bible, it's just so profound and powerful, you know. Because as I always say, yes, I speak on the esoterics, which to me are very important in understanding that there's a job to do to ensure that we don't dwell in the lower mind and behave in opposition to what Christ would want to the best of our ability. But also on the literal sense, I mean, we all know that the words that Jesus spoke, when they are translated in an easy way for a child like that, for instance, that you should share, that you should treat your neighbour as you want to be treated, it's just very, very beautiful. And you know, to sit up here, a child sitting up here, it's just going to be, you're going to be so pure of heart when you go to bed at night. You're going to pray, and that's what I see a lot, you know. And it reminds me a little bit of the movie Captain Fantastic. If you haven't seen it, it's about a guy who takes his kids out in the wild with his wife to live. But they meet two children and they say they need a real education. And it was funny because the Western style of education meant that they were totally into Xbox and all this stuff, and the kids who were out in nature, their minds were easier to absorb things, and I've seen that as well. I've seen children here, in my experience, when they get the opportunity, they really smash it. And I saw it with Jackson and Joseph most recently. Couldn't speak English 2 years ago, now we're fluent in English. Couldn't read or write, now we're fluent in their own language, reading and writing and spelling as well. Had no education whatsoever and just graduated and got into full-time employment. You know, and this is because Many of us back in the West, we carry the matrix with us. We carry the matrix inside our subconscious, and you've got to clean that stuff out. Because from a young, very too young, we've been filling up our subconscious mind with the matrix, and this is not okay. It's really not okay. And the level of restriction that we can place upon ourselves and our abilities as physical beings is quite high when we do that. Even here, I'll tell you a good example. When you see children here using machetes and stuff, and you look at kids in the West, you wouldn't hand a child, most people wouldn't hand a child in the West a machete to cut down some tree branches or whatever. They just wouldn't. They'd say it's too dangerous. But the children here do it every day and they don't get hurt. Whereas if you give a Western child it, they'll get so fearful they might get hurt. You know, and that's because we fill ourselves with these thoughts and doubts based on fear, whereas here it's much different. But ultimately I just wanted to say, we're all carrying the matrix around with us because of what we're absorbing. And you can understand that there's a certain level of purity in the people here, because as a child she's up here walking with her goats, doing honest day's work for all she shouldn't be because she's a child, and reading the Word of God in this setting. I mean, what will that produce? You know, what fruits of the Spirit will that produce within a child? And it will be quite beautiful fruits, without any shadow of a doubt, because she'll go to bed tonight remembering what she read in this environment. Whereas some children will go to bed thinking of the monsters. Even toddlers will think of the scary monsters they saw in the movies, you know. We've got to stop plugging our kids into the digital and start taking time ourselves to unplug from it. Because you're just going to make them carry the matrix with them everywhere they go until they can fast and purge it out in meditation. Whereas the truth is, you know, like a lot of the kids here, they don't need meditation. I said this yesterday to my friends who were Zen. I said, actually, a lot of the kids here don't need it because they automatically do it. Like my boys who live with me, they meditate at night because they just sit outside looking at the stars. And that's enough, you know. It's enough. So, anyway, God bless, guys. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, as it really helps us to grow the channel and with it help more children here in Tanzania. Also, don't forget you can support our work by sharing with children in crisis here, be it sharing for a particular need or even sharing one-on-one support for education, housing, food and medical care. It can be done for as little as the cost of a cup of coffee a week back in the West after all. Just visit www.sharetanzania.co.uk to find out more. Lastly, remember you can also support us via Patreon, www.patreon.com/featherstail, and help keep us here in Tanzania to continue our work. The links for the website and for the Patreon are in the description box of this video. Love and light, guys. See you soon.